Hi, so this is my presentation on my threat, which is terrorism, and I'm just going to get into it. What is terrorism? Terrorism is the use of violence and intimidation, normally against civilians, with the agenda of political, ideological, and religious objectives. And more importantly, why does terrorism happen? I mean, the overall purpose is usually to create chaos, fear, and completely disrupt society, which forces governments to lose control of their people and civilians to lose faith in their government. And why is terrorism such a big threat to the United States? Firstly, it disrupts everyday life. People won't go to gatherings if there's a risk or attack just happened. People won't go to school, the mall, concerts, get on planes. Secondly, there's a risk of destruction. Critical infrastructure, such as bridges, interstates, government buildings, are always high risk targets. There's also, sadly, always a risk of casualties, as most attacks do lead in a loss of life. And finally, economic instability, rebuilding costs, our stock exchange, for instance, during the attacks on September 11th were disrupted. Yeah. So my example of a terrorist attack would be the Oklahoma City bombing, which took place on April 19th, 1995, and was carried out by Timothy McVeigh, who detonated a truck bomb outside of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building. And at the time, this was the worst act of terrorism on U.S. soil committed by an American. The attack stemmed from very strong extremist anti-government ideologies and a hatred of federal authorities such as the FBI. Economically, Oklahoma City was devastated with over $650 million in damages, which included rebuilding expenses, emergency response, recovery efforts, and a loss of surrounding business revenue. And after the attack, the public felt very unsafe and vulnerable, and also suffered from mental health issues from the families of both victims and survivors. So, since the attacks on the World Trade Center and attacks like the Oklahoma City bombing, policies have been implemented to deter, detect, and disrupt terrorist activity. The USA Patriot Act was passed post 9/11 to enhance the ability of our law enforcement. With the goal of preserving life and liberty, it stands for uniting and strengthening America by providing appropriate tools required to intercept and obstruct terrorism. The USA Patriot Act was passed, and that enabled wiretaps, business access to business records, and surveillance of lone wolf terrorists, which the authorities did not previously have. And an example of the USA Patriot Act in effect was when they apprehended the suspect plotting to bomb the Brooklyn Bridge. They got him before he was able to carry it out because of things that the Patriot Act allows. And in the first 10 years of the Patriot Act being in our government, over 500 people were apprehended on terrorism-related charges with the help of everything that the Act allows. So to conclude everything I just went over, terrorism is a crucial threat to our country, and it is very important that we stay vigilant in preventing it. For instance, the Oklahoma City bombing opened up our eyes into seeing what people are capable of, both foreign and domestic, and policies such as the Patriot Act help to mitigate and prevent future attacks like that bombing. Thank you so much for listening.